This is episode 212 of We Were Gamers, a podcast directly off the top of your head like that.
I'm just that good, Andrew.
Hey, JJ, how are you, buddy?
I'm all right, man.
Michael's here.
Hey, everybody.
We're back to a podcast. Guys, I'm a little tired. I got one more turned yesterday.
Oh, you
Uh-oh.
foolish. Opened Civ past a certain point of night. It's directly to the sadness bin the next day.
We'll get into Civ 6 later, but there was a moment in that game where a little toast shows up on the bottom right corner, and it told me, your victory is imminent.
Haha, you
Ooh.
fool.
Oh, God. It must have been 20 turns of imminent. Maybe more. I don't remember. It's all
Depending on which victory you're going for. Wait,
all-
we'll talk about it.
It's all a blur. Welcome back. This is a podcast. Hey, before we get going, I may have already ended. It will have ended, I think, by the time we release this, I guess. But I wanted to shout out itch.io for their, what would you call it? Package?
Is it the bundle for racial equality and justice?
That one. They deserve credit for getting that put together to donate to NAACP. And keep an eye out. Maybe they can put something else together to keep helping in modern America. You know what I mean? I just want to throw that out there at the beginning.
Like, even if you don't like most of the games, there are 1,361 things. Not all of them are games. Some of them are like interactive art pieces and stuff, I guess, in this, for a minimum contribution of $5, or you can pay more. That's just insane value. Like, it doesn't even matter what the stuff is or where it goes.
Yeah, you'll find something in there that you like.
Yeah, I hope it's still
only
going.
a bonus that it goes to like an amazing cause.
Yeah. And my guess is they've already raised $5 million with this.
They are over 7.8 million as of me looking at this webpage.
Okay, there you go. I didn't do the research I should have in this instance.
I had to do the research to remember.
The name of it. Yeah, it's a long name. My guess is with the success of that, they'll do something else. So keep an eye on itch.io. It's good charity, good causes, stuff like that. Gentlemen,
Behold.
I need to take this in a different direction for a second. I was listening to the Giant Bombcast, competitors to this podcast.
The Giant Bombcast or the Giant Beastcast?
Bombcast.
Mm-hmm.
They cover a lot more news than we do, but not to advertise another podcast, but they got into a discussion. And since this is now a food-based podcast, I thought we should bring the discussion here.
Ooh, okay.
How do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And if you don't have a particular method, I can walk through the steps that they all argued about if you'd like it to go that way instead.
So I do have a method.
Oh,
For
dang.
making
Okay.
peanut butter and jelly.
Go for it.
And it's nothing fancy, but I always do the jelly first.
Oh, this is criminal.
So,
No.
okay, hold on though. Yeah. No, go ahead, Michael. I want to hear.
Because I always do the jelly first because it is much easier to only use one knife and to get the jelly off of that knife onto the other piece of bread before sticking it into the jar of peanut butter.
Okay, as a question, then does the peanut butter go on top of the jelly or on the other slice?
On the other slice.
The only way to do it. You have to put the
Acceptable
peanut butter and
answer,
the jelly
I
on
guess.
separate pieces of bread.
It would be way too much of a
so
mess trying to do on the same piece.
Some people were...
Maybe jelly on top of the peanut butter, but then you have to just like scoop it out and then spread it.
Yep. Some people were adamant that all your stuff had to go on one side on the Bombcast, JJ.
No.
I
Insanity.
agree. No. Yeah. So start to finish here. Toast or no toast?
No toast.
For a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not toasting it.
So I've found if with thin bread, I want a little toast on it.
I
Thick
mean, I'm
bread,
not
no.
out here telling you can't do it. I'm just saying that I'm not gonna do it.
Okay. All
And
right.
I have done it for like fancy PB&J before, but
Sure.
regular, just peanut butter
No
jelly, no
toast.
toast.
Okay. Straight cut or diagonal cut?
I rarely cut because I'm lazy, but if I had to, it would probably be straight.
Yeah, mine's the same way. If I cut it, it's straight.
Cut before or after it's put together?
What?
What? That's again, you're talking about like this is some kind of psychopath trying to put together a sandwich here.
Why don't you just put mayonnaise on it while you're at it?
What are you talking about?
Why would you cut the bread separately? You two separate pieces of bread. You cut them both in half, and then you put the two halves mix and match together.
I
What
have
are you
the
doing?
answer for you on
Cats
that
and
one.
dogs living together.
I pre-cut all my bread.
Why?
So
What
that
possible reason?
So that when I'm cutting it, it doesn't squeeze all the jelly out the side.
No. Stop.
No.
Number one, if that's the problem, stop using so much jelly. Number two, that's just silly. Just get a sharper knife. There you go.
That's true. I could get a sharper knife, but as to your point,
Don't use the bread knife to cut.
That's what I'm saying, right?
So the butter, the
that's
jelly.
What
knife
I'm saying. In an
Don't
effort
do
to
that.
use only one knife, I was using my knife that I was cutting, that I was spreading with.
This is why you don't cut it. You just eat
that's
it.
how you solve that problem.
Yeah. Well, some people in my family need it cut into smaller pieces, or it ends up all over the plate, the floor, the face, the chest.
Okay, look, we're not talking about your kids' peanut butter and jelly.
Oh no, I was talking about mine.
Oh, you need it cut into smaller pieces because it's going to end up all over the place? Again, stop putting so much jelly on it, Andrew. What are you doing?
I tried today. I made PB&Js, and I tried to put the jelly on the peanut butter, and I thought that was a disaster because people on the Bombcast were very, very adamant about putting the jelly on the peanut butter.
Which episode was this, man? I
Very
need to
recent.
go listen to this argument. It was
recent-ish.
Okay.
At the end when they do the emails. Anyway.
Okay. That's just
some of the opinions on there were pretty criminal.
That's bad. That's bad. Anyone who does that is bad. Don't do that. I'm sure you're a good person, but you're bad at peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was your food minute.
Why do we do food crimes on this podcast?
I like the addition of food crimes. I really do.
Oh, I had another one for you guys.
We have time for more food crimes, is what I'm saying.
Oh, do we want to do one more?
Yes.
Sure. I don't know why I'm suggesting myself to this.
This one's not a crime. This is another opinion poll.
It could be a crime.
Well, it was inspired by a very confusing delivery truck that I saw on the way home. And the name of the restaurant was Empanada-Man Pizzeria. So digest that for a second. But it got me to thinking, if you had to pick one, empanada or calzone.
Okay, hold on. Is Empanada-Man one word? Or hyphenated?
No, I think it was 2 words.
Empanada Man Pizzeria. Because, like, if it was Empanada-Man, I'd be like, all right, I'm into that. Empanada-Man.
He's trying to be a superhero.
Yeah, he's Empanada-Man, and he's dishing out pizzas.
I guess.
Yeah. Whatever.
Or I guess calzones, apparently, because he's just folding the pizza over and making an empanada out of it.
You put slightly different toppings.
Well, it's not empanadas are not the same dough. There's no way.
No, the dough.
Yeah, that's the wrong kind, right? You just
Yeah.
got to use pastry dough.
Yeah.
Or flaky.
Okay, so
anyway, than pizza
what
crust.
was your vote? Empanada or calzone? Or pizza or calzone?
Empanada. Which would you choose if you could only pick one? Empanada or calzone?
Contextless pick here, or like, is there a situation?
I didn't have a situation, so feel free to give it context if that will help.
A variety of empanadas probably makes them win. Because also other things are like an empanada, like a samosa.
Yeah. I like calzones, though. I'm not against them.
But what is the benefit of a calzone over a pizza other than less mess and more grease?
Yeah, I mean, look, the choice isn't calzone or pizza because I'm going to take pizza. The choice is calzone or empanada.
Right.
And I mean, I guess you're right because there's like 500 different types of empanadas you can have, and
Right.
99% of them are going to be great. So,
And there's only like one good calzone out there. And if I
how many
choose
types of pizza
empanada,
are
I
there?
can
You
still
could
have
put
pizza.
most of that in a calzone, right?
Well.
Oh, is this issue that like there's only one good pizza now? Is that what you're saying?
No, there's lots of good pizza. In fact, I think there's better pizzas than you do because you don't like some of the pizzas I like.
Yeah, because you put pineapple on it. It's gross.
Pineapple on a
Oh.
pizza is a good thing. It's not the
I'm gonna
only
side
good
with
thing.
Andy.
There's no world where it's bad, but I understand not choosing it. It's fine. There's other pizzas. I will eat almost any pizza.
Yeah.
But there are some pizzas that just don't translate to a calzone. So that there's an advantage.
Sure, like the pineapple ones.
Right, sure. I wouldn't eat a pineapple. I would not eat a Hawaiian. I don't know.
Calzone.
Now that I'm
No,
thinking about
no.
it.
That's gonna get real. Those pineapple pieces
That'd
are gonna
see-
be really sad.
Exactly.
melted
It'd
in
be
with
a
all that
soggy
cheese.
mess, right? That's going to be a
Yeah.
mess of a calzone.
It's
So
gonna get
no,
real wet.
no, empanada.
Yeah, I think empanada is the right answer here. Because you can get savory ones and sweet ones.
Now I know why he's Empanada-Man Pizzeria. He did the same process. He said, "Should I make calzones?" And then he said, "No."
I don't know how this became a choice though. It's not like it's the same. He goes out and buys pizza dough. It's like, guess I'm making empanadas out of this. Like, no. Is it just like a Mexican place that decided to make pizza on the side? Is that what happened? I really want to know now.
I actually looked them up yet.
There are more than one pizzeria that I have thought that is what's happened. You know what I mean?
The pizzeria place became a Mexican place? Wait.
The other way around.
Oh.
Like,
It could
this
be.
place wasn't a pizzeria, and then all of a sudden they were just making pizzas, and then the world turned on its head, and they were pizza people. You know what I mean?
Could be.
Maybe.
I think that's happened
Oh.
before. Uh-oh.
So I pulled up their menu because I was curious.
Oh, no.
And they have... I'm looking for the... Oh, there are the empanadas. Okay. So they have a regular section of pizzas.
Okay.
And then they have an even bigger section of Argentinian pizzas.
Which is an empanada?
No, they are pizzas, but all of the ingredients look like they are inspired by Argentinian dishes and ingredients.
Huh.
Okay. And then no empanadas?
No, there's a whole separate section of the menu for empanadas.
Okay, so they do make both.
Interesting
Yeah,
that the
the menu's
pizza got
actually
tacked onto
huge.
this menu. Like, here's what happened to
Wild.
this guy. This guy opened an Argentinian restaurant. Then he had the
like this.
idea of like,
The origin story.
yeah. He had a lot of empanadas in the menu, and it was kind of like okay business, but not great, which is true for the empanada place by me. There's hardly ever anyone in there, but they make decent empanadas. Then he was like, there's other dishes in Argentina, and I could turn them into weird pizzas that people might come and they were attracted for. And then, because he had to put the word pizza in it, so many people were calling him through Yelp that he had to add the regular pizzas too because people were all pissed off. And now he
Maybe,
probably
but-
sells more pepperoni pizza than empanadas.
Well, but he also has like a big menu of sub sandwiches, a big menu of pasta.
Oh boy.
This
Is it-
menu is...
I like Andrew's headcanon. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon now.
Empanada-Man Headcanon. And there's the episode. Title.
I was gonna say that one wrote itself.
Awesome. Okay, food crimes are over. We haven't done a homeowner's minute in a while. Does networking count as homeowning?
Yeah, kind of.
The adulting minute? Michael
It's a
got a
bad
little
word,
bit of
but
this. Michael
Yeah,
got
tell the people about some crimping cables.
So last time this podcast talked about crimping cables, I was very successful at it, JJ. Having
Yeah,
gotten a
I remember.
suggestion from you, I terminated a bunch of cables into wall patch connectors.
Mm-hmm.
It was very easy. They had inside the connector what cable went where. You lined them up, you pushed them down with the little knife thing, and the connector pushed it all together for you. It cut the, it did all the work. It was really easy. Overall, I messed it up once, whatever. So today, or this past weekend, we've had to rearrange the house a bit and noticed that our Wi-Fi is not reaching the other side of the house. I've had to add a wireless access point, which is its own story for another time. Not working so great. But to do that, I decided, hey, I got all this Cat 6. Let's crimp the correct length cables and use the Cat 6 to connect to the Cat 6 and get all these things connected right. Boy, oh boy, is it not the same as doing the terminals.
Oh, you mean doing the
Doing
front sides?
the what do you call them? I don't want to call them male connectors, but I guess that's the best.
Maybe that's what they are.
Yeah.
There's the wall socket, and then the thing that plugs into the wall socket with the little clippy top.
Right. That would be the quote unquote male end. If anyone has a
Yeah.
better name for that end, podcast@reworkgamers.com, and I will say that instead.
I believe that is what those are called.
I mean, terminology wise, that's generally what people go with. I don't know if there's some sort of replacement in this day and age. I'm fine with being told that it's different. Moving on. I bought pass-through connectors, JJ.
Why?
Because
wait. Okay, never mind. Yes, sorry. I forgot. I thought for a second. Never mind. Yeah, pass through. Okay.
they looked easier. And
yeah, probably.
Now that I know what I'm doing, I'm pretty sure they are easier.
They are easier.
So I did my first one backward.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't realize the direction that it wanted me to put the end into the crimper. So all the wires were the wrong way.
Yep. Gotta pay attention.
The second one I did okay, but if you look inside the connector, you can see the wires are a little bit bunched up. And when I was doing it, I was putting each color through the hole that they pass through before they get crimped and cut one at a time. And it created kind of a mess inside the thing, but they crimped down okay, and that cable actually works. But then I realized...
messy inside the connector doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as it crimps onto the jacket, right?
Right.
Yes. I got the boots on there correctly and everything.
Nice.
And then I realized that I had looked at the wrong wiring diagram, and I had used B instead of A, and my 30-foot runs are all A.
You just made ones that don't connect now.
They connect okay, but according to my reading, there's extra interference for having the wrong terminals on each end. You want them to be straight pass.
Right. If you go over certain distances, you'll end up with problems like that.
So then, being a little bit distracted, I redid them and did the thing where I did B on one side and A on the other because I forgot I hadn't re-terminated one of them. Anyway, it's been kind of a chore, but I'm to the point now, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
I pull those cables out of the jacket. I get them all lined up perfectly, nice and straight, and I can shove them all through the pass-through all at the same time. They come out the other end, no problem.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work.
It's been a process, and it took me about a day to learn.
Not gonna lie, it probably took me way longer than that when I first learned how to crimp cables like that, and we didn't have no pass-throughs, so we were getting dangly little fiddly ends trying to get them into those little slots, and then hope that it was
crimp the case down.
Hold it down right, then get it in the crimper, and then go before it slides out and
uphill both ways.
It was uphill both ways in the snow. Back in my day, you whippersnappers were on my porch. Yeah,
when I read about the pass-through versus the regular, I was like, "There's no way this pass-through thing isn't easier."
It is easier. It's absolutely easier, and the cables are equally as good at the end of the day. So who cares? Like, you should just do it.
Yeah.
The invention of that pass-through thing after I stopped working at the place where I was doing that made me angry retroactively at the hours of my life I had wasted crimping cables.
I just really love that, like, the first time I crimped a cable, I thought I had to strip the interior wires.
No.
Yeah, I know. I spent lots of time with my fingernails getting them.
It actually makes it worse doing that.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your networking minute. I've been working a lot on my NAS storage, spending an hour or two every night trying to migrate the files and things like that over to a new storage device.
You should just leave the computer on overnight and just copy everything.
Yeah, but I don't want everything. and it's all very
Oh,
disorganized.
well,
Anyway,
can't help you with that then.
I understand. So somebody bring me out of my malaise and tell me what they've been up to.
Well, there are video games to talk about. Do we want to talk about video games?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, you want to do announcements? Want to do announcements? Is that what we're
Announcements?
talking about? Video
Like
games? Your
video
video
game
games or
related?
announced video games?
Both.
Okay, you pick.
So yeah, there were a bunch of like trailers and stuff that dropped over this this
Right
time
after our
period since our
podcast.
last right after. Yep.
Yeah.
They started doing some summer of gaming stuff, and there are streams from a bunch of different places. PlayStation did a whole thing. They revealed the new PlayStation 5 console,
Yeah.
and people should go see if you can find a picture of it that isn't a joke. It's hard
good
to.
good luck.
Am I
Give everyone a second to pull it up on their phone and take a look.
Okay.
But wow,
I
this
want
thing is
to know
wild looking, you
okay.
guys.
I want to know how it lays down.
It does. They're laying down pictures of it. Let me find one.
Okay, you
and
got to find one of
show it to
those
you.
because I've only seen the pictures of it standing as memes. The best one I saw was somebody putting the Eye of Sauron on the top of it.
Yes, that one is very good. Or the
I
one that put Seto Kaiba's head on top of it is also really, really
I
good.
would like to know what it looks like lying down because I'm not certain that I hate it.
One sec.
It's odd. It's an odd shape, and the outer shell being like wavy and not connecting to the inner shell, and it being off weight. The bottom is thicker than the top and not connected over there. It's odd shape. I don't know that I dislike it a ton. I don't hate that.
So now that you've seen that, I'll tell you, my favorite was a comment that said, the PS5 looks like a publicly funded hockey arena with poor sightlines that's part of a downtown revitalization project that's really just a real estate investment scheme.
This is what the pond's going to look like when they redo it.
Yeah,
Because it looks like a duckbill when it's lying down.
it is wild looking. Who designed? And the best thing I like. So I posted two images here. Both of the console lying down. One without the disc drive and one with the disc drive.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the console, when you see the pictures of it standing up, right? The lines are kind of sleek on both sides. It looks like it's there. And then the one with the disc drive is like, ah, dang, we had to make a disc drive. Bulge. Just like completely tacked on looking and silly compared with the other one.
The new Xbox has a disc drive.
Yeah, they both do.
I don't
And
know.
who's
Who's going to be the first one to
is going
commit?
to offer one of these without it as well.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
You think
right?
this is the
If you
last
can
half step of like, this is the last year a disc drive's going to be in it, and the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox 2, 1
Depends on how they
2,
sell, right?
X1. I don't. How do
If
you
they
even-
charge $50 less for the no disc one and everyone buys it,
yeah, they'll stop making.
or if the other way, right? It's $50 more and everyone buys the disc one anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I think your comment about the hockey arena is very funny, but
it is good.
I don't hate it as much as the internet hates it.
Oh, I don't know that I hate it. I just think it is like
It's odd.
really odd looking. Yeah.
It's weird that it comes in white initially rather than revealing that it comes in like 5 colors.
So that's my guess of where they go with this is that they show a version that's like, oh, you can also get it. Yes, the Seto Kaiba one.
I love that people jump into our chat with that stuff.
So good.
Oh man, thank you.
They reveal later, oh, it also comes with these fins in black, but also you can get them in blue and PlayStation logos and with the picture of your favorite game on it or whatever, right? Like,
or like, where's the reveal that hey, these plates are removable and you can like get art plates.
So I think they're not removable, right? I think that's the thing here. Is
okay.
They're built this way. They kind of look like the little struts in between them, like it's like a fan under there or something. I wonder if it's for cooling somehow. That's like a really wild way to design a cooler for
Yeah,
your
it's
system.
kind of strange.
Yeah,
I wonder,
it looks like it was designed by a design firm and not their
Not a-
internal team.
yeah. I think the thing I wonder about this most, how are you going to clean this, man?
Oof.
Well, this is why I was
It's gonna
asking
be
if it lies.
impossible.
If that's why I was asking if it lies down. Because first of all, who stands? I mean, maybe I stood up my PS2, but now I can't. I don't have the space to stand stuff up anymore. It doesn't look nice. They're usually in a cabinet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on its looks too much. Were there any good looking games to you guys?
Yeah, there were a couple. Probably tops for me was the Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that we're all gonna get to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Maybe. Whenever they finally release it, what the heck? When is it coming out? Tell us.
Yeah, you have a
Summer.
PlayStation. You can play it, don't you?
I do have a PlayStation.
Yeah,
I
you
could play it.
And it's on sale right now, actually, for like $10. The
But
deluxe
what
edition.
if I got the sweet version on PC?
It costs you
ran
50.
And it ran at a consistent and good frame rate.
Oh, is that part of the review of that system? Not so good on the
Also,
Horizon?
that is the review of every PS4 game that has come out in the last like 3 or 4 years.
bummer.
It's like, are you running it on the Pro? Maybe little odd on the frame rates usually.
I see. Okay.
Like even God of War does that, and that's a bummer.
Well, I didn't see any. Oh God. Jeez. Oh, now we're getting controller pictures in our chat. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the white. I think the problem with this system is the white.
I
right?
really wish they had said that this comes in colors. People would not be harping on it.
If they had revealed it with all these lines and stuff, but it was just black on black on black, would anyone care?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Although the disc bulge is pretty funny.
When someone pointed that out to me on the internet, I was like, oh my God, it is. Like they literally designed it the one way, and then someone was like, where does the disc go, dude? And the guy was like,
Well, that's the kind of thing where like the president of the company asked that question.
Yeah, it's like
got all the way there.
Here's the design presentation to Mr. Sony CEO or whatever, and the guy's like, so where are we putting the discs, guys? They're like,
Yeah.
He just draws with a Sharpie on the picture.
Any PS5 games that you saw in there other than like, I mean, Spider-Man looks good, but
so that Spider-Man Miles Morales game looks like really dope.
I'm guessing that's a Spider-Man. They're taking the engine from the last Spider-Man.
I think I read that it's not even a full game on it in its own right, that it's an add-on to the previous one.
Well, it'll be its
So
own
both
game release, right?
Well, so Michael, there was a controversy about that. Michael is correct to have noticed, but the resolution to it is that it was like they did with there's an Infamous game at one point that did this, where it was like, hey, it's the same open world, but we've made a new game with it, basically.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's its own product, or like Uncharted Lost Legacy was like
this is
where
like
it's
the
not
GTA...
a numbered sequel, right? But like
yeah.
we didn't remake the city. It's not all brand new. It's a bunch of reused stuff.
Remember when
the story is all new?
GTA 3?
Yeah.
There's a GTA 3 that was also GTA Vice City and GTA San Andreas, and they were all the same engine and game, but they just kind of redid it. This is probably even less than that because you use the same city, I would think.
Yeah.
And you just tell a different story.
Yeah. Definitely I think so. That Miles Morales game looks super dope. I'm really excited for that. And when they revealed that, I actually was like, when I saw that trailer, I was like pumping my hands. I was like, yes, finally the Spider-Man I like better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially after Into the Spider-Verse, I'm like, yes, give me Miles. So. I also really liked. They showed a very short teaser for the Demon's Souls remaster.
So it is a remaster.
I saw that.
Yes.
Okay.
And the trailer and the like people did some side by sides of like shots from the trailer and shot from the actual like game, it's like, man, they got like, is not the same. The dude, like they redid the art quite a bit. It's not like they just took it and turned the polygon count up.
Right.
It's definitely like a, hey, they reinterpreted some of this. I agree with some people online that are like, it doesn't look as good as the originals in terms of like the art direction, but no one can lie and say that like the amazing lighting and all of the crazy like extra detail and fidelity doesn't look like really, really good. Like you can see the light reflecting off the armors of the knights and stuff, and it does the light filtering in down from above into a dungeon thing.
It looks sharp.
It looks really good. And that game was dope on PS3, even though it ran bad there also. You can emulate that game on PC with the PS3 emulator, I guess, and run it at 4K 60 apparently. And even if you take the 4K upscaled version and compare it to this looks way better than that, even just in terms of like fidelity. So, being generous and giving the 4K comparison, it still looks way better. So I'm excited for that. That's probably the most excited I am for a thing on that. But what else did they show on that thing?
They're bringing back a lot of old games too, like Oddworld and Ratchet.
Oh yeah, that Ratchet game looked pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
So much stuff blowing up all at once, man.
Hitman.
Oh yeah, Hitman 3. I am actually excited for that. That's one of the ones that is also coming to PC, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Who knew I would care about the story in a Hitman game? But yeah, that should be fun because like the only thing I want anyway out of those Hitman games, yeah, the story is good and I do like the story, but I just want more dumb toys in my weird system sandbox. Like, make the things interact more. Let me push the table over and have the guard wonder why the table is out of place and that kind of stuff. So hopefully that enables them to do that kind of stuff. That would be very cool.
There were a couple that were just sort of teased cinematics that I want to see more about. The one from Square Enix, Project Athia.
Yeah, what are you doing, Square Enix? It's a project in the name. Come on, get out of here with that. Give a real game name.
They did the same for Octopath Traveler, right?
Yeah, it had
It was Project Octopath. It just call, if you don't have the name that you want to name it, then just don't come up with the name. Like it can't be the name is undecided up until like the month before release or something. That's ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. I don't know. We know nothing about it. It was just like a cinematic tease and some words.
Yeah, and then that and Pragmata was another one like that.
I thought that game was a Kojima game when they showed the trailer. Not gonna lie.
It really looked like it, didn't it?
It was like a guy in a weird spacesuit, and then a little girl who's not in a spacesuit, and he like reaches down to talk to her, and then they're flying in space, and the girl doesn't have a spacesuit on, but it seems to be fine.
There was a lot of spacesuit horror games. I think that Returnal one was also spacesuit horror.
Yeah, there were also a couple of like time loop games. Returnal and Deathloop.
Oh yeah, that Deathloop game.
Yeah. Does any of this make you want to go get a PS5 at launch?
No.
It makes me hope they launch some of these on PC.
Yep, that's about the same opinion I had. That's kind of a bummer too. It's like I don't think either one of these consoles is one of those. And looking at the Xbox lineup that they revealed a little while back, and I'm kind of just like, meh.
Well, also, does it? I don't know about you guys, but it made me a little concerned that they are releasing it this holiday and there is still no price.
And also, a lot of these games are 2021. A lot of them.
Several of them, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Several of the big name ones for sure.
I mean, for a holiday launch, you can forgive that, right? If it comes out at Christmas time.
But if it comes out at Christmas time and there's like 3 games to play, people are gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, man. I don't. The thing I saw, which is it's a picture of like the cowboy standoff with both Microsoft and Sony having their guns pointed at each other and saying "you pull first" or whatever, and it's like you tell us the price first. No, you. Like it's just, and meanwhile the players are standing on the side being like, "What are you guys doing?" But yeah, I really think that's literally what it is. Like Sony doesn't want to say the price first. As I think it's going to be expensive. I don't know how they're going to get away with it not being.
I think both of them want to charge $600 and they don't know how to, or more.
Yeah, I'm sure they would love to charge $600, right? But I think if you say the console's coming out and it's $599.99, and people are going to be like, LOL, no.
Hey, I could build you a computer for a few bucks more than that. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not going to get a computer under $599, but
No, yeah.
you're also going to get a way more powerful machine for, your $1,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like the depressing thing is the like good state of the art ray tracing computers and stuff, if your high end GPUs are already ahead of where this console is.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like, say what you want, like, the hardware will be used better by the developers and stuff. Totally right. But also,
most of these games will still come out on PC.
The majority of them will, yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think Microsoft has said all of them, or all of the ones they've shown thus far, anyway.
And when they get to PC, a lot of these third-party developers, in order to sell these games on PC, say things like, "Hey, we redeveloped it for ray tracing on PC. By the way, it'll look really good."
Well, the console versions could have ray tracing now.
Yeah. But a lot of them do that though, of like adding stuff, like
it's true.
Technical stuff.
They do.
Speaking of Microsoft, Game Pass added BattleTech. I want to throw that out there in case people have been following this podcast and being like, I should try that Game Pass thing. You could go do your trial month for Xbox Game Pass for PC and download BattleTech for $1 and try it. And then you could be like, I hate this Game Pass thing and I hate BattleTech and I'm never listening to We Were Gamers again.
Or because it's good.
Yeah, or you'll do what I'm suggesting and you'll be like, first of all, BattleTech's really good, and I'm glad I got to play it. And secondly, I might stay subscribed to this Game Pass thing because it is a sweet deal. Anyway.
BattleTech is really good, and people should play that game.
Yeah. They added a lot of weird games to that Game Pass thing, but we don't need to talk about it. You know what's disappointing is after watching those two reveals, the PC gaming show had their big event that was replacing the PC game reveals from E3. And they did not blow it out of the water either.
Let's be real. That PC gaming show has been bad every year. There's never been a good year for that show. It was never good.
I thought they might have more content because people needed to get their games out there.
Nope. There was one good thing that came out of that show.
You saw that Day 9 had gray hair?
Was that a good thing?
I don't know. It makes me feel younger.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he's older than us, so yeah, fair. Also, I guess, Sean Plott had a hard life, I guess.
He worked hard.
Yeah, he still works hard. He streams. No, there was one good thing that came out of that show, which is something completely, it would have been completely unexpected if it had not leaked early. And they released Persona 4 Golden on Steam. Not only did they announce it and it was out.
Hey, I think that you said that those Persona games would not come to PC.
I'm pretty sure I did say that. And
never happier to have been wrong.
Never happier to have been wrong. And not only did they do that, but they didn't just put it out at like $50, like however much that Vita game costs. Probably more because it's out of print now, right?
Right. Sure, if you actually want a Vita copy.
Right. Or like a physical copy, right?
Well, isn't the Vita store down? I don't know if the Vita store's still up. So you probably have to buy a physical copy.
If you can even buy Vitas, those are probably hard to get anyway.
I don't think they make Vitas anymore.
They definitely don't. Anyway, so instead of that, they charged $19.99.
Not on sale?
Nope. That's the full price.
Okay.
Wow. Good for them.
Persona 4 Golden is a really good game, you guys. People should play that game. That game rules.
RPG.
And, yeah. RPG. And beyond that, the only other platform this game ever came out on was the Vita. So this is the first other platform it's been on.
Maybe that's why it's the first one to hit Steam, because it's so hard to get a hold of at this point. I don't think PlayStation could hold it against them.
Well, who knows? But I will say that not only that, they did a good job in the port. You can run it at 4K. You can run it at almost arbitrary frame rates.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I run it at. If you run it, don't run it in exclusive full screen because then the VSync for whatever reason forces it to 60, even if your monitor is higher than that. I don't know why.
I've had that problem in every game recently. I don't know what's going on. Like Civ, Halo, all those things. I have a 144 monitor and the VSync or G-Sync is stopping it at 60.
So wait, no. VSync and G-Sync are different things.
G-Sync is stopping it at 60.
Okay, well, if you're using G-Sync, it doesn't matter. Your frame rate is irrelevant.
Why is that?
Because that's what G-Sync is for, right? G-Sync forces it to render frames at the same speed as your monitor refreshes, and so it eliminates the thing you would get with like frames interpolating between the refresh
Right,
rates.
so I should get 144 with G-Sync on.
No, it doesn't make it render more frames. It means that rendering less frames isn't a problem.
Oh, okay. Well, rendering less frames is a problem because I want more frames.
Get a better computer or
No.
a
Why is it
game
locking
that
it to
supports
60?
more. I don't know. Some games don't support more than 60. Sometimes
see.
they have caps.
Okay.
This one you can turn if you turn VSync off and go borderless full screen, you will get whatever your refresh rate of your monitor is. Yeah, it's a really cool game, and I want to commend them actually for changing the way that game works. So the first release of that game, right? There's some like features locked behind New Game Plus. Specifically, there's like a difficulty slider in that game. Oh, not just a difficulty slider, right? Like you start the game, you can choose very easy, normal, hard. And I think very hard is locked. You can't pick very hard from the start.
Huh.
But until you beat the game, right? You load your clear file, and then in New Game Plus, you can carry stuff over or not, and then you can change. You can play very hard, but you also have access to other settings where, like, oh, you can just. Do you want the damage you take to be greater, lesser, or normal? Do you want the money you gain to be greater, lesser, or normal? EXP, damage you deal. Do you want to have retries during battles, or only if you like retry the whole dungeon? Like all these sliders and stuff you can set to like what it normally would be, above what it normally would be, and then below what it normally would be. And it shows you as you tab between very easy, normal, hard, like how those settings change. So that you can like customize your own difficulty level. It's like, oh, okay, well, like I want the combat to be more challenging, but for the combat being challenging, I want more money and experience.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And so you can like change those sliders anyway, which would not be possible if you just chose like, normal or easy or whatever.
So you could do
And
like very hard,
Yeah.
but up the money instead of letting very hard lower your money.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, oh, this is the same settings as very hard, except my EXP is up instead of down.
Smart.
And that's unlocked from the beginning in this. So you
good.
don't have to do New Game Plus. It's just available as soon as you start the game.
Nice.
That's awesome, especially for a game like this, which, let's be real, I've played before. And it is a long game as well. Easily, 40 or 50 hours if you're trying to just get through, and then more if you want to go, do 100% or whatever. So it is nice that they just let you, and they just let you do whatever you want. And I don't think there are any trophies based on beating it at various difficulties. So who cares? Put it on easy. Just cruise. Who cares?
I think with that price point, I think, and that feature set, you can kind of assume they came to the same conclusion that the people buying this are going to have played it before, probably. At least a large portion of that audience, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. Like they announced it and I bought it immediately. I wouldn't I don't
But have you
condone
played it?
people doing that generally. Yes.
Okay.
I was playing it right before we started this podcast, actually.
Okay. Yes, we normally
I've
don't.
played several hours of it.
We normally don't condone that, but do what you love, right? And if what you love is that game, it's okay.
I think you can.
Spend
I
the
think you
money.
can make an exception too, because it's not exactly a new game.
Right.
No, this is an old game. There's a digital deluxe edition which comes with an art book and a soundtrack. And the soundtrack of this game does slap. So I did not get that, but that is an option for people that want that. The digital deluxe edition is $25.
Oh my.
Ooh.
So, but that's like an amazing price. This thing was like the #1 seller on Steam for like 4 days after they announced it.
Perfect.
So, yeah, just an unbelievable deal. I could not be happier. I would love them to bring the newer and other games in that series to the PC as well. That would be very nice, please.
I think that is a 180-degree experience compared to our Halo play.
Oh God.
It's amazing, right? Like, it's a game that is beloved, just like maybe Persona 4 is beloved, and they do not seem to have a grapple on how to treat that game and how to keep it working.
Yeah, I think the keep it working part is the problem there. This game works fine. I mean, there are, minor nitpicks here and there you can make with it or whatever. But I mean, we were trying to do Halo 2 campaign co-op and it was just crashing over and over.
Like literal crash to desktop this weekend.
It crashed to desktop for me twice.
Oh wow.
I haven't seen a game crash to desktop in years.
And the other times where it didn't crash to desktop, it dropped our session and we didn't save our progress.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is a big problem. They need to fix that pronto. That through their servers, which are unstable, clearly, you don't get to save your progress, so that when you get dropped, you start over an hour mission every time.
Yeah, the way they do co-op in that game, where it doesn't allow you to save at any checkpoint and requires you to start the mission from the beginning, really sucks.
I can't think of why it's that way either.
It doesn't make any. Why does it have to be like that? Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe, Andrew, the answer is like we just have to play it independently and we start on the next mission or something.
I don't know. I
don't
don't think that affects our co-op save at all.
Is it going to be separate when we go back in with co-op?
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yep. And I mean, and the reason I come to that conclusion is because we experimented with trying to have my host end, which I don't think is a hosted game, but my end try to start the game, and I don't have a save file for us. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'm not sure that they transfer any information into that system, which is really strange and odd and not good. And we knew something was wrong with the servers when we
save, not co-op.
We knew something was wrong with the servers when we played multi, Michael, and got the same maps over and over and over again until we turned off the map, and then it would give us a different map over and over and over again.
That does not seem right.
We even saw the same group of people in 2 of those maps where it was like literally the same players. And like, I get it. If you stay in the lobby or whatever, it would just carry a bunch of them forward. But you don't get a game with like the exact same people like that.
Yeah. Unless you're all just locked into it.
Yeah. If it had been like an amazing game or something, I get it, but it was not close. They had trounced us.
Man. Griffball's fun though, huh?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, dude. I enjoyed that way more than I thought I was going to.
There's a mode they added to it, which is an old mode from Halo 2, Michael, called Griffball, named for eponymous Griff. How do you say that word?
Eponymous. Yeah.
Eponymous Griff from Red vs. Blue.
Nice.
Yeah, it's basically soccer with swords.
That's the correct way. Yep.
Okay.
You're playing Halo, but you can pick up the ball and run with it. It's actually maybe more like rugby somehow, but you can throw forward, so maybe not. Anyway, whatever. You run with the ball. You're
kick the ball forward in rugby, so kind of. It's more like rugby than soccer.
So you can run with the ball, and you have to get it into a goal on the other side of the thing. But every other person that doesn't have the ball has a sword. And if you've played Halo 2, you know that sword has a little zip.
Yeah.
You can just kind of whoop and get them. You're a little faster than the people with the swords, so like you can kind of run around.
You can dodge. Like if one person were chasing you, they couldn't catch you if you were halfway
range.
decent at the game.
Yeah.
Because you could
But
strafe
the field
across
isn't
the
that
field.
big.
No. The field is short goal to goal, but the field is very wide. So if you side to side somebody, they can't keep up with you.
Okay.
Right. And they would never get in sword range until you hit the wall, basically, right? At which point you hope that your people with the swords have caught up to you and cleared a path for you a little bit.
But you're right, JJ. It's much more like rugby, though, where there's a lot of sideways travel to get moving forward.
Yeah, that's more what I meant. Where in terms of like soccer, you pass it up and down the field. This is a lot more like rugby, where you're going like across the field a bunch, and then all of a sudden you move forward in a big jump.
Yeah, there was a few times when we tried to pass it to people, but a lot of times it's one person with the ball, and you just kind of wait for your team to create an opening where you can either run to the goal or throw to the goal.
Yeah, because trying to pass is really hard because catching it requires you to hold the button, or at least it does on controller that I'm using, and that's not like it is hard to know how long I need to be holding the button in the air or whatever. Like the opponent doesn't just come up and take the ball away from you. So,
Well,
yeah.
Review of playing Halo on Cherry Silvers. I like these keys quite a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, especially with the dampers on them, it feels like it almost gives it the feel of a non-mechanical keyboard with the reaction time of a mechanical keyboard, and the sturdiness of a mechanical keyboard without the. Yeah, it's really nice.
I just don't know if you ended up putting the dampers on anyway. Why did you buy the switches that didn't have the dampers to start with? You know.
It didn't have dampers on it.
Yeah, but you can get switches that are quiet.
Oh, they don't
Instead.
make silvers in quiet.
You just get a different color that is quiet.
I wanted silvers.
Okay. I don't remember which one the silvers are, so I can't.
The silvers are the new lowest activation linears.
lowest force.
Lowest lowest force nanometer, lowest activation or highest activation point.
Okay, yeah. So it's like you just barely graze it, and
You barely graze them, and they activate, and they're linears. But you can only get them in clicky, I think.
Got it. Okay, whatever. It's like it's just funny to me that like as I know they sell their mechanical switches where their whole thing is like these are quiet ones.
Yeah,
And
I think they do browns and reds in Silent. I couldn't remember which ones, but I tried.
I don't know either, but
I
I know
don't
they
remember.
exist. So.
Anyway, yeah, I'm liking it. Okay, that's
Very
Halo.
cool.
That's Halo. I have more comments on Civ 6 if you guys want to hear them, or we can just not.
I want to know what you thought was going to be ending soon in a game that never ends.
Culture victory?
Oh, Andrew.
Yeah. I didn't.
Culture Victory takes forever in every version of Civ. Right? Even in Civ 5, how quick was it? It took so long.
Why do I... First of all, why do I have to buy rock bands with religion?
You can buy them with...
They're just like a naturalist. You can only buy them with religion.
True.
Why?
Can't buy them with gold?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I understand why there's a civic that blocks allowing rock bands into your territory, even if you have open borders, which you need to have for culture.
And rock bands are extremely powerful, so I can see why.
They're very, very powerful, and it's fine to be able to block them, but why can't I negotiate with the computer to let them open the border for the rock band?
Because they don't want to lose to you doing that to them?
So basically, the strategy of rock bands, you have to play with them the first time to understand that you need to build 2 to 3 rock bands and nuke everyone all at the same time, because at a certain point they're going to be useless and they can't go anywhere because everyone will close their borders to rock bands.
Yeah, well, it's not just rock bands that they close the border to, right? It's closed border everything.
No, you can have open borders with no rock bands.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, because I had a neighbor. Oh, first of all, I played as Sparta, so I got culture for going to war and killing people. And Mongolia was right next to me. He attacked me quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of culture really quickly, and ended up doing the future tech. They have future culture, where you're basically. I had all maxed, promoted, basically all the way all my governors. I had more envoys than I knew what to do with. It was just like, this is silly. I have nothing to do with culture anymore. I way overproduced writers. I literally
problem-
parts of my empire just had great writers just standing in them because I had nowhere to put their books.
Yeah, that's the problem with the like artifacts and stuff in that game is eventually it just becomes impossible for you to find the right combination to fit in the weird slots that you have available.
Oh yeah, art
It's
museums was
like,
a lot of
oh,
work.
I built like 500 archaeology museums and I can't find any relics.
I will never
or the other
ever
way.
again. I will never again build an archaeology museum. Not once.
It's okay to have one in your empire
They're bad.
somewhere.
They're bad because you can't theme them. It's impossible to theme them, and no one will trade artifacts. Not a single person.
You can get them to trade artifacts. I've done it.
I had no.
But you
got
to give them also artifacts that are valuable.
I
and that's
did,
the
and they
problem.
don't want. I don't know. I don't think
don't
enough
want your
people in my
religious ones,
games.
that's the problem.
Not enough people in my games have been getting culture enough to trade anything. I'm the one with all the cultural stuff, right? I've got great artists and writers and musicians just sitting in my territory because I'm generating them faster than everybody else. So I have to
First
trade
world
them.
problems.
Yeah, seriously. I played it on, I think, difficulty 7.
Okay.
Boy, do you have to keep a standing army no matter what.
Yeah. I would, for someone playing their first game, although I don't know this was actually your first game.
This is my second of 6.
yeah.
Of Civ 6. I played Civ 5 hundreds of hours.
The higher difficulties, the computer gets angry.
Yeah.
And they are mean.
And the barbarians
Difficulties
don't
go
stop.
up.
It was 2007, and I was getting attacked by partisan barbarians.
Oh, so the barbarians show up anywhere there's unrevealed and unexplored map, you know?
Right. Which is weird because maybe I just didn't reveal satellites. I thought there was like satellites that revealed the whole map.
No. Nope.
That used to be a thing.
Used to be.
They need to bring that
And
back.
also it reveals the map, right? Like you can see the outline of where all the land is or whatever, but you can't see it. And if no one can see it, that's where the barbarians come.
Yep. There's a lot of
Build
stuff
a boat and park them in the Arctic.
There's a lot of stuff I would still add to this game. A lot of mechanics that are kind of like not quite perfect.
I will say that I just thought of something. You could maybe get enough spies into their territories and like overthrow their government or whatever into riots such that they're like
then my
forced
rock
to do
bands
things
could
that
show
you
up.
want. Maybe, yeah, that might work. Or at least it would destabilize their like towns or whatever. And then once the towns are in riots or whatever, you would take them over because your culture is so strong.
Oh.
Yeah, you need the town to like want to declare liberation or whatever. You can do that. It's really hard.
I didn't think about like trying to overtake the. We basically both had a city facing off against each other on this one little peninsula. They were like the linchpin cities, where if you broke through there, you were in each other's empire, right? Mm-hmm. So each one of us have our encampments and fortifications and just standing armies standing there staring at each other. I'd move 2 units away, and then I'd see all his stuff cross the border, and I'd just move my 2 units back. You know? It's just silly. But I wonder if my culture was that much more powerful than his. He was the first guy that I got a notice from that my culture was dominant over his. I wonder if I had tried to overthrow his government, if I could have just started taking his cities over.
Yeah, if you can get the loyalty of his city down low enough, you'd be able to take him. There's a governor that helps with that, and then you can do it with spies too.
I think that on the higher, like 9 and 10 difficulties, you're going to have to go for something like science that's quick, or something that is very totalitarian in terms of its, I don't know if it's like just victory points, trying to win on victory points, because the amount of stuff that I had to do just on 7 that I wouldn't have had to do on 5, like on difficulty 5, you can just do the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
You never-
On difficulty 4, I think it's almost a guarantee win if
Yeah.
you're playing like even marginally intelligently. 5 is like the level I like to play at because I don't want to have a terrible challenge, but a little challenge. And then above that, I find to be tedious because the computer is too good.
Anyway, Civ was a nice comfort for getting away from the frustrations of Halo. Michael, what have you been playing, man?
What have I been playing? Just chugging away at more of the same stuff. Breath of the Wild.
Cool.
Playing some more of the new ukulele.
All right. Right on, man.
No,
Yeah.
new to report.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I've been
did,
chipping away at the Xenoblade every now and then too, but slow and steady there.
It's interesting
I
that
did
we all...
catch one last fun thing though since we last talked.
Uh-oh.
Bill and Ted.
Oh, we didn't talk about it yet. We got to talk. Okay, we got...
Maybe we tease that for next week.
No, it's fine. I have lots.
Okay.
I have lots to say in a short sentence.
Okay.
Be excellent to each other.
Indeed.
Now
Right?
more than
I mean, maybe it's the movie we need.
it might be.
What's the name of that movie? Is it Bill and Ted Save the World?
Face the music.
Face
Face
the
the
music. They have to face the fact that they blew it. They should have united the planet and they didn't.
Be excellent to each other.
See? Be excellent to each other. I will watch it. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah. I will probably watch it almost certainly.
I know there's some people missing from it, but it looks like they got an idea. Maybe more than that Dumb and Dumber remake has got the idea. I think they know what they're trying to do. It
They
looks
put
like
death in it, so they know what's going on.
they know what people want. All right. Well, if people don't want to see, no, I don't know. If you don't want to see Bill and Ted,
People
don't
have
email us.
controversial opinions on building peanut butter and jelly.
There's what we need. Or if you had different headcanon for Empanada-Man. JJ?
Oh, that would be, you could send those opinions to podcast@weweregamers.com. You could also find us on YouTube. Search for We Were Gamers on there. Hit that little subscribe and the little bell. That's good stuff.
You should
Wanna
look
find out
on
when our sweet videos go up.
Friday at our channels for a new Star Trek pod.
Aw, yeah.
Nice.
That'll happen.
Yeah, we're on social media too. Look us up there.
One of these empanadas has pineapple in it.
No.
I'm leaving this recording.
I don't know, JJ. There's a lot to gather from a trailer, and there's also not a lot to gather from a trailer.
Yeah, totally
Like,
right.
if you look at that trailer and you pick apart every instance of it, you could look at it and be like, I see characters in here that maybe they'll write a story around, like Hera, and, like, maybe that's part of it. But, being realistic, no, she's in the background of a shot. It doesn't mean they did anything.
I mean, what's going to happen is it's going to be a multiplayer focused game, and it's going to have a small single player campaign. That's the part that's the bummer.
But you could look inside the cockpit of that ship and be like, they put the old style lasers, shields, propulsion system in this cockpit in a cinematic, but it's in a cinematic. Doesn't mean anything. It's not going to be in the game. There's no way. It's not. It wouldn't be arcadey enough.
I mean, what if they? But yeah, I mean, like they put it in the game and then it doesn't matter, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It just really bothers me. Like, nowhere in Star Wars do the ships light on fire like that. The capital ships do because they're bleeding oxygen, and so the fires are inside the ships, right? Which even that is like specious. But they have instances of X-Wings and stuff getting damaged engines on film. They don't light on fire.
But it doesn't make a cool trailer.
And why does that TIE fighter catch on fire? There's no explanation for that at all.
Needs to look cool. QED.
How does a TIE fighter's wing catch on fire?
Doesn't matter. Needs to look cool. QED. There's no other
Okay.
discussion. That's the end. The
Can
proof.
electricity can arc in space though, right? That's just power.
It has to have a medium to arc through.
Yeah.
So that works on the ground, but probably not in space. Now it might arc along the outside of the
Casings.
hull.
So let's say the engine's damaged and it's all blown up and stuff. You could have like electricity arcing on the damaged engine. That would still look cool.
Again, it wouldn't really arc though.
Okay, I mean, you know what I mean.
But yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be overly critical from a trailer, but it didn't give me a good vibe. And like you said, I mean, I saw the writer of the game make a post that was like, "Hey, I'm writing this thing." I was like, "Okay. Can you say how long it is?" No response.
Nah.
Which is fine. It's Twitter, right?
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
owe me a response. He wrote a game. There's some single player element. It might be good. I don't know, but it's not going to be very long.